Hello and welcome to Talking Golf with Gary. This week, the dynamic Gary will introduce you to all kinds of topics pertinent to this past week of golf. He'll give you some tidbits of information as what's coming up and take you on a tour around the world for all of the golfing highlights. Sit back and enjoy Talking Golf with Gary.
And hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Golf with Gary, and it's number 164. And I hope everybody had a terrific week out there. It was just a gorgeous weekend here in the Northeast with temperatures in the upper 70s. In some cases, it even hit 80, but sun was shining, nice breeze was blowing, just a beautiful, beautiful weather all around, and great golf weather too if you were so inclined and had a chance to get out to the course. And let's do some bookkeeping here right at the top of the show. If you'd like to be part of the show, you can join us by sending an email to talkinggolf@gmail.com or by calling our voicemail at 516-619-6341. You also can check out this show weekly at tgwg.podomatic.com or on Spreaker or SoundCloud or, of course, iTunes. And we do a video version of it, and that's available on YouTube at For Sports or at talkinggolfvids.blogspot.com. And it looked for a while like we were going to have yet another playoff on the PGA Tour, but Jason Dufner made a 25-foot birdie putt on the final hole Sunday for a one-stroke victory at the Byron Nelson Championship, his second win in 3 weeks. Dufner's winning putt wrapped up a closing 3 under 67 for an 11 under 269 total, one ahead of Dickie Pride. Dufner got his first PGA Tour win 3 weeks ago at New Orleans, a week before getting married. Pride, whose only PGA Tour win in a 20-year professional career came in 1994, was at 10 under after a par-saving 22-foot putt at number 18 after hitting his drive into the water. J.J. Henry, who had an early hole-in-one, was in the lead at 11 under after consecutive birdies at number 15 and 16, overcoming a bad tee shot on the first and a greenside bunker on the second. But Henry, in the final group with Dufner, hit his tee shot at the par 3 17th over the green. He lost the lead with a double bogey on that hole after his 4-foot putt slid just outside the cup. After watching Henry's meltdown, Dufner made a tap-in par at 17, then hit a big drive on 18 in the middle of the fairway. He hit his approach to the middle of the green, avoiding a playoff with the long putt and joining Hunter Mahan as the only two-time winners this season. Pride had made a 13-foot birdie putt at number 17. Joe Durant, who was the final alternate added to the Nelson field, shot a 65 to finish in a tie for third at 271 with Henry, who shot a 68. Mark Leishman also tied for third, and rookie Jonas Blixt joined the party. Phil Mickelson, making his first Nelson start in 5 years, had 4 consecutive birdies on the front nine and went on to a round of 66 to finish 4 strokes back. He tied for 7th with Ken Duke, who also had a string of 4 birdies in a row in his own 66. And it looked for a while as if Phil was going to make one of his patented runs, but had trouble and fell back. But still finished tied for 7th, and that's not bad, as he's really preparing himself for the U.S. Open. While Henry and Dufner were playing the 17th hole, Pride drove his tee shot at number 18 left into the water. After his drop, Pride hit his approach to 22 feet and made that par-saving putt to remain at 10 under, letting out a scream when the ball dropped into the hole. Pride then watched the final group play the 18th and waited to see if he would be in a playoff. Even he had to applaud on a clinching putt by Dufner, who went to rival Auburn. Matt Kuchar, the 5th-ranked player, who won the Players' Championship a week earlier, had 70 and finished at 276 in a tie for 15th. He was trying to become the first PGA Tour player since Tiger Woods in 2009 to win in consecutive weeks. And Nicholas COLSAERTS handled fierce wins to top Graham McDowell and capture the World Play Championship on Sunday, boosting his chances of making Europe's Ryder Cup team. COLSAERTS won a slow final 1-up in southern Spain for his second European Tour title and earned a winner's check of $900,000. McDowell, the 2010 U.S. Open champion, bounced back after falling one down 3 times on the front 9, but was frustrated on the long closing stretch with his iron play getting him down. COLSAERTS had a 2-hole lead after number 16, and although his advantage was cut when he 3-putted the next hole, he made par on the last hole to win one of the most prestigious titles on the calendar. The victory lifted COLSAERTS into 10th place in the Ryder Cup points table, the last automatic spot for the European team, but perhaps more importantly demonstrated to team captain Jose Maria Olazabal his prowess at match play ahead of the September matchup against the U.S. in Medina near Chicago. It would be COLSAERTS' first appearance for Europe, and would cap a successful season in which he has grabbed 7 top 10 finishes in 11 events, the most of any player so far. Azahara Munoz beat Candy Kung 2-1 on Sunday to win the SYBASE Match Play Championship, a title that was set up when Morgan Pressel was penalized for slow play while in control of their semifinal match. It was the first LPGA Tour win for Munoz, but this one is going to be shrouded in controversy. It also will put more focus on pace of play in golf. Pressel appeared to take a 3-up lead with a par at the 12th hole at the Hamilton Farm Golf Club, but before she could tee off on number 13, tour official Doug Brett informed her that she had violated the tour's pace of play rule and lost the hole, dropping her lead to 1-up and changing the momentum of the match. Munoz, a former Arizona State star from Spain, then rallied to beat Pressel 2-1. Nick Flanagan defeated Cameron Percy at the BMW Charity Pro-Am for his 4th tour victory and first since a 3-win 2007 season. Flanagan wouldn't have been in position to win without a fortunate bounce on the 72nd hole of regulation, where he drilled his approach over the green. The ball hit a video camera and bounced back onto the green, nearly rolling into the hole in the process. He rolled in the birdie to reach 15 under 271 and tie Percy, who had bogeyed the hole one group earlier, to reduce his lead to 1 stroke. The 2 Australians returned to the par 4 18th, which had been playing tough all week at Thornbade Club, for a playoff, but neither could come through with a key shot the first 2 times they played it. Both bogeyed the hole on the first try, then managed to sink their par putts on the second. Percy found the woods with his tee shot the 3rd time around, while Flanagan hit his second shot into a bunker. But while Percy had a tough time getting to the pin, he chipped his second shot out of the trees and into the rough besides the fairways, then hit an iron past the green. Flanagan came through with a crucial shot. He blasted out of the bunker to within 2 feet, and after Percy caught it at 6, Flanagan ran home the short par putt to secure the victory in just his second nationwide tour start of the season. Sam Saunders, the grandson of Arnold Palmer, Aaron Watkins, and 3rd-round co-leader Brad Fritsch tied for 5th at -13. And that's the recap of all the tours that were in action this week, the big tours. And we are going to take a break and be back. Right after this. For all the listeners of Talking Golf with Gary, Audible is offering a free audiobook download with a free 14-day trial to give you a chance to check out their service. Over 75,000 titles to choose from in many different categories, including science fiction, mysteries, biographies, sports, computers, you name it, they have it. To download your free audiobook today, go to audiblepodcast.com/talkinggolfwithgary. Again, that's audiblepodcast.com/talkinggolfwithgary for your free audiobook today. You can now hear our show while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. On-demand news, talk, and more on your mobile phone. The latest episode is always available for you. No syncing needed and no memory or storage wasted. Available for your iPhone, Android phone, WebOS phone, or your BlackBerry. Downloading is easy. Go to Stitcher.com or check out your app store. Stitcher Smart Radio, the smarter way to listen to radio.
Sponsor an ad on the podcast. Support our show and let people know about your business. Email us today.
Milwaukee Brewers and National League Central news and notes. BrewtownSports.podomatic.com.
And once again, if you'd like to be part of the show, you can by giving us a call at our voicemail at 516-619-6341, or you can write us an email, drop us a line at talkinggolf@gmail.com. And don't forget that the U.S. Open is coming up in about a month, and we'd like you to send your picks in for that tournament. So send an email or call in a voicemail hotline and leave those picks for the Open. And in other golf news this week, the U.S. Amateur Trophy is among the artifacts missing after a burglar broke into the U.S. Golf Association Museum in northern New Jersey. Somerset County prosecutor Jeffrey Soriano says police responded to the building in Bernards Township after a burglar alarm was activated there around 2:40 a.m. Wednesday. Officers found several trophy cases had been extensively damaged with an axe and noticed some trophies and other items were missing. Museum officials say among the items taken were the U.S. Amateur Trophy that was created in 1926 and a replica of the late Ben Hogan's Hickok belt, which he won for being the nation's top professional athlete in 1953. Soriano says security video shows the burglary apparently was carried out by one person. Tournament organizers for the Greenbrier Classic announced Monday that Tiger Woods has committed to play July 5th to the 8th in the event, which began only 2 years ago. It is played on the Old White TPC course, where 2 years ago Stuart Appleby closed with a 59 to win. It will be the third time in the last 9 months that Woods plays a tournament for the first time as a pro. He played the Fries.com Open in October in San Martin, California, and the Honda Classic in March. Woods last played the Honda Classic as a teenager. Phil Mickelson already has said he is returning to the Greenbrier, giving the 3-year-old event two of the biggest names in golf. The Memorial Tournament also announced Monday that Woods will play there May 31st to June 3rd. Then the LPGA will make following players on social media even easier. Caddies will be sporting bibs with Twitter handles on their backs, starting with the LPGA Championship at Locust Hill Country Club in June. Craig Cann, Chief Communications Officer of the LPGA Tour, says 113 LPGA players have Twitter accounts. Singh was at Locust Hill for a news conference as the defending champion. The LPGA Championship has been sponsored by Wegmans Food Markets the past 3 years. The contract is up after this year, but both sides plan to sit down in late June or early July to work on a new deal. And Michelle Wee has earned an undergraduate degree in communications from Stanford University. We finished up while participating in 20 LPGA events in 2011, a year that saw her finish 18th on the money list. Somehow, we handled a 20-credit slate during the year. On June 17th, we will walk at Stanford's commencement. By the way, it took her only 5 years to earn her degree. The teen prodigy turned young woman admits she's got some work to do when it comes to her golf career. And finally, in other news, defending champion Tom Watson has withdrawn from next week's Senior PGA Championship. Watson has been recovering from a pinched nerve in his wrist. He is still expected to be at Harbor Shores before the tournament and will host the Champions Dinner Tuesday night. Watson beat David Eager last year in a playoff to win the event. And now we're going to move to birthdays.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday! Celebration anew! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you! Happy birthday to you!
And the birthdays for this week. May 21st, that's today. Stuart Sink turns 39 years of age. And tomorrow, May 22nd, Olin Brown turns 53. And Brent Guyberger turns 44 years old. And Andrew McGee turns 50 years old. So he's eligible now for the Champions Tour. And on May 23rd, Steve Flesh turns 45 years old. May 24th sees Bill Haas turning 30 years old. And no birthdays on the 25th. So on the 26th, we have Ben Curtis, 35. And Steve Pate turns 51. And finally, on May 27th, Todd Dempsey turns 37 years old. So happy birthday to all of those fine golfers and many, many more. And now let's go to the calendar.
It's time to do the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar. Oh, hooray, let's sing the calendar. Now it's time to do the calendar.
And on the calendar for next week, we have the Crown Plaza Invitational at Colonial Country Club, where David Toms will be defending. And that's on the PGA Tour. The LPGA Tour is off next week. The Champions Tour holds their Senior PGA Championship presented by KitchenAid. And Tom Watson, of course, as we just said, was the champion from last year, but he will not defend as he's withdrawn due to an injury. The Nationwide Tour is off, and the European Tour is holding the BMW European PGA Championship with Luke Donald there to defend his title. And we got one email from Jerry in Long Island this week, and Jerry is going to pick Louis Oosthuizen to win the Crown Plaza Invitational. So that's Jerry's pick for the week, and Louis Oosthuizen. And don't forget, we are all over the internet, so there's no excuse to listen weekly, and you can do that at tgwg.podomatic.com, Stitcher, Smart Radio, TuneIn.com, as well as on iTunes and Spreaker and SoundCloud, and we're just all over the place. And you can view the podcast at YouTube, Duffer Sports, and at talkinggolfvid.blogspot.com. And while you're at it and you're online, please visit the online store at www.zazzle.com/talkinggolfwithgary. And one more time, you can send your questions and comments to talkinggolf@gmail.com, as well as your U.S. Open picks. Or call the voicemail hotline at 516-619-6341. And that's going to wrap it up for this week of Talking Golf with Gary. I hope you'll join me again next week as we recap all of the golf news and notes. Until then, have a great week and a great evening. Good night, everybody.